Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I'm going to show you a best practice when it comes to adding blog posts to your website. So there's a couple different ways to add a blog post as far as how we place the content on the page. But if we want to get the most out of search engine optimization and user interface and really cross-browser compatibility, things like that, different devices, it's best to upload our blog posts as images and content as separate. The text is separate from the images as opposed to one single image. So I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to go to posts and add new post. And then the first thing I always want to do when I'm adding a post is I want to give it a title, I want to set the featured image, and then decide what category it's going into. I really want to just do this first before I'm adding content because I don't want to forget to do that later. These are the elements that help the display on the website. So we want to make sure we do that first. So we're going to say, in this case, we're doing a popcorn post. So let me actually just pull up the sample that we're going to be using here. So perfect popcorn. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in perfect popcorn as the title. I'm going to set a featured image, and I don't see the one I want in here, so I'm going to upload a file. I'm going to select the file, and then I want to do the bucket of popcorn. I've got that uploading here, so I'm going to set that as the featured image, and then I'm going to decide what page I'm putting it into. So in this case, I'm going to put it into the lifestyle category. So on a real estate website, we have buying, we have selling, we might have market reports. Lifestyle will be the things that are less specific to actual real estate, but more just about the consumer that we're trying to attract. So I'm going to go ahead and select the lifestyle. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and save this draft. I want to just make sure those things are set. Now you can go ahead and do images and text here in the standard WordPress Gutenberg interface. That's fine if you'd like to do that. We like to use Elementor to give us some enhanced, a little more drag and drop. It's just a little better interface that we prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. So you'll see it's already got our title, Perfect Popcorn, and then we have this default table of contents box up here. We use this for search engines, and what that's going to do is look for any heading tags throughout the content in order for us to create some links down to the different sections. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about that as we dive into it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the text. So I have the text all ready to go. And in this case, how to make the perfect stovetop popcorn. I could change the title. I just put perfect popcorn, but we could use how to make the perfect stovetop popcorn. Now, one way to do this is if I were to just drag an image in here and then select the image, upload it, and create this, just grab this image that has everything. Technically, this is posting a blog post, okay? But it's just an image, so we have to worry about browser compatibility. We have to worry about how it looks, how the text, what size the text is when it shrinks down to our phone. It also is not going to be able to pull out any of the heading tags that we have in here, like ingredients and instructions. So it's kind of it's like a quick way to just get it up, but the search engines aren't indexing this content, and again, it's not great for cross compatibility, things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that because we're not going to do it that way. That's kind of like the quick way, get it up, get it out, and technically that will help distribute your content, but we just want to get a little more out of it, what we're going to do. So I'm going to start first by just dragging over the image, and instead of doing that full image, I'm going to grab like this little heading section here. So I'm going to go ahead and click upload, and I'm going to select, and so now we still have the nice image heading, which is great just to start off the content. So that works out just fine. Now I'm going to go to up to my widgets here, and I'm going to drag over a heading, and so here we can go ahead and call this one the what do we have in here? How to make the perfect stovetop popcorn. So we can have that if we'd like as a heading. So we've got the heading there now. Then I'm going to go ahead and add another element. And if I'm looking at the content, we've got like basically a little blurb underneath that. So I'll grab this here. And you can do it over here or in here. It doesn't really matter, as far as the editor is concerned. All right, so now I've got that little intro. Now, because I have these headings, and remember I want to have something that's going to show up here in this table of contents, I'm going to break out each section. So in this case, we're going to do instructions as a heading. So I'm going to pull this heading over, drop it underneath there, and then we're going to call this instructions. All right, so that's going to be there. Now I'm going to go back here, pull over my text editor. Underneath instructions, I'm going to put, the start of those instructions. I went down too far here. This is actually supposed to be ingredients. So I'm going to take ingredients. Let me just change this. Ingredients. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this ingredients here. I'm going to put them in there. Now you can leave it this way with this, like I just copied and pasted in here, or we can actually make them bulleted lists. So I get rid of those asterisks there. So it just depends on how it copies in from whichever program that you're using, but I'll just go ahead and make this a little more perfect. All right, so now we've got it nice and bolded there. So then the next one is instructions. That's another little heading there. So I'm going to go back here, add element, drag in heading, pop in instructions, back up here, pull over text editor. And this is the instructions on how to do it. All right, so just make sure that all looks good the way you wanted it. And then we have here finishing touches. We'll go ahead and make that a heading. Add that, finishing touches. We'll just go ahead and capitalize it just to be consistent with the other ones above. And then we add the last little paragraph there. So text editor. All right, so we've got that there. Now, if you wanted to, Elementor allows us to do a lot of different things. If maybe you did a video for this and uploaded it to YouTube, maybe you have other elements and things that you want to do. We're going to go ahead and add like one more image at the bottom just to kind of finish it off here. And we're going to choose. I had already uploaded this popcorn one. All right, so we've got that in there. So basically we've got this all set up, and there is ways if you wanted to, like on the right of the ingredients, I can insert an image in here as well, this add media, and then I could align it to the right so that it shows up over here. The only problem with doing that sometimes is the image is larger, sometimes it creates some gaps in between. So if it's very critical or important, then we just want to make sure we resize the image to the right size. So if I go back and look at the original post, it has this popcorn, but you see how like everything has to stop right there on that left hand side rather than roll through it. So in this case, it's just easier to read and digest, better on the phones and things like that if we just don't have that image there. Or if I'm going to have that image there, I'd make it much smaller so that it only disrupts maybe one section that we have here on the page. But otherwise, everything's good to go here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Publish. All right, so now we'll go back to the website and see how it all comes out for us. So scroll down here, on the home page, and then here we go, perfect popcorn. So I've got the little blurb, I've got the featured image, and then you'll see how to make the perfect stovetop popcorn, ingredients, instructions. So if I click on any of these, it just goes right down to that particular section. But otherwise, you'll see how it comes out on the page. Nice and clean. And then if I were doing it maybe on mobile, for example, you'll see how things just kind of stack and resize, which is great. And basically, we've got everything that we need here. So again, this is all indexable by the search engines. All of this is able to expand and contract based on the screen size, the format, the devices that you're on, and ultimately gives us the best output. So of course it took a few extra steps, but it gives us a better result at the end of the day. So hopefully that is helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at team@ballenbrands.com.